Hey there, welcome back to 7 Minute Books. I'm Sam, and today we're talking about John Kay's The Corporation in the 21st Century. Sophie, I have to ask, did this book make you rethink everything about how companies actually work?
Hi there, Sam, and yes, absolutely. Kay's central argument is that the old model of the corporation, this big, hierarchical machine where commands come from the top, is completely broken. And he makes a really compelling case for why we need a new way of thinking.
Right, the machine metaphor. For most of the last century, companies were literally designed like machines. You had a CEO at the top pulling levers, middle managers passing orders down, and workers at the bottom just executing.
Exactly.
And that worked fine when the economy was about making things, factories, mass production, and economies of scale. But Kay says we've shifted from an economy of things to an economy of ideas. The most valuable assets now are intangible: brand, culture, intellectual property, and customer relationships. And you can't command those from the top.
That's such a fundamental shift. You can't just order someone to be creative or to build trust. So Kay says the role of management needs to change completely.
Yeah, he's really critical of the classic view that managers are there to plan, organize, command, and control. Instead, he says managers should be removing obstacles so that talented people can do their best work. They're gardeners, not mechanics.
Gardeners, not mechanics, I love that. And he also takes apart the myth of the all-powerful CEO, right? The idea that one person can understand everything and make all the key decisions.
Totally. He calls that a fiction perpetuated by the business press and executive egos. The best CEOs, in his view, are architects of a system. They create the culture and incentives that let good decisions emerge from everywhere in the organization.
And that's where culture becomes the ultimate competitive advantage. Because you can copy a strategy, but you can't copy a culture.
Right.
Kay says culture is the unwritten set of rules that guide behavior when no one is watching. And it's incredibly hard to replicate. That's why companies with strong cultures tend to outperform over the long term.
Okay, but here's where I really felt the book hit home. He goes after the whole shareholder value maximization idea. Like, the notion that a company's only purpose is to enrich shareholders.
Oh, he eviscerates it. He traces it back to something called agency theory, which basically assumes managers are selfish and will only act in shareholders' interest if they're given stock options and performance pay. And Kay says that experiment has been disastrous.
Because it encourages short-term thinking. Managers focus on boosting the stock price instead of building long-term value. And it creates this culture of greed where executives get rewarded for luck just as much as skill.
Exactly.
He argues that a company is not a collection of financial assets to be traded and exploited. It's a social institution, a community of people creating value for customers, employees, suppliers, and society. When you only focus on shareholders, you hollow out the company.
That's powerful. And he also talks about how work itself is changing. The old model of a job for life with a clear career ladder is disappearing. Now it's more fluid, gigs, projects, and contracts.
He doesn't romanticize that shift. He acknowledges the insecurity, but he says it also offers more autonomy and flexibility. The key for individuals is to invest in their own human capital, skills, knowledge, and networks. And for companies, the challenge is to attract talent even without offering lifetime employment.
So how do you do that? How do you keep talented people when they're not tied to you by a traditional contract?
You offer purpose, growth opportunities, and a community they want to be part of. And you build trust. Kay says trust is the lubricant of the modern corporation. In a network, you can't rely on command and control. You have to trust people to make good decisions.
And that brings us to the network model. Instead of a hierarchy, Kay envisions the corporation as a network, flat, fluid, organized around projects rather than functions. Information flows in all directions.
He points to platform companies like Amazon, Google, and Apple as examples. They create the infrastructure and rules, then get out of the way. They're orchestrators, not commanders. But he also warns about the immense power of these platforms and the risks of them controlling markets and stifling competition.
It's a nuanced picture. He's not just cheerleading for the new model. He's pointing out where it could go wrong. And he also talks about corporate governance, why the current system of boards and shareholder rights isn't preventing the worst excesses.
Right? He says the governance system is based on a flawed model of human behavior. It assumes people only do the right thing if they're monitored and incentivized. That creates a culture of compliance, not a culture of doing the right thing. We need leaders who focus on building great organizations, not just following rules.
So what's the takeaway for someone listening? I think for me, it's that the old corporate machine is indeed broken, and the future belongs to organizations that are built on trust, purpose, and adaptability.
And if you want to go deeper into Kay's ideas, the full summary is on the 7-Minute Books app at 7minutebooks.com/app. There are over 6,000 fiction and nonfiction titles you can read or listen to in any language. It's $2.99 a month, $9.99 a year, or $19.99 for lifetime access.
The corporation of the 21st century won't be a machine. It'll be a community, a network, a place where people can do their best work and create real value.
Exactly.
Thanks, Sam. We'll see you in the next one.